Another new leak of things to come today. It looks like Space Marines have acquired themselves a new fortification. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the strategy focused 40k channel, where we've been keeping up to date with the 9th edition news and rumours as they've been coming out. Today I just wanted to make a short video to talk about a fortification picture that's been circling the internet. I'm honestly not 100% sure who's leaked this first. I first became aware of it of someone sending me a picture of it on Facebook, but it seems like it's on multiple forums now and on Reddit. In any case, this is apparently the Hammerfall drop turret, what appears very much to be a new fortification for the Space Marines. So here on the right we have the full leaked image for the turret. I'm honestly not 100% sure exactly what publication that this comes from, but it appears that someone's reading it as we can see their genes on the bottom of the picture. This could very well be a picture of the 9th rulebook, which I understand that some people have already got their hands on now, or maybe a picture from chapter approved or something. The free text above the image says the Ultramarines draw up an impenetrable firebase centred around their Hammerfall drop turret, something relentlessly as they reap a merciless tally amongst the Xenos ranks. You can see they're fighting the Necrons, they've got some warriors there, and they've got some Blade Guard veterans on the left, and what I think looks like a Firestrike turret sporting a las impulsor in the top right. Of course though, the star of the show today is this defensive fortification of the Space Marines, and it is quite helpful that the image confirms its name as well, so we're not just guessing. I noticed that someone on the Bolter and Chainsword had already spotted that this pretty much confirms a rumour engine that we've seen already. To be honest, those rumour engine pictures never tend to be too helpful for guessing exactly what's coming next, but they are quite helpful in retrospect to know that this is absolutely a genuine thing, although I think you do very well to fake a picture just quite as convincing as this one. If we zoom in just a little bit closer to take a better look at the thing, it's pretty much an armoured bunker, and in my opinion does draw some definite design influences from the drop pod. Those little wing-like fronds at each corner of the thing really remind me of the top of the drop pod, and the big gear legs that it seems to jut out from do also remind me of the gears and things that are inside the pod around the base where the doors swing open. The weapons on top look very similar to a standard whirlwind turret, though I wouldn't be surprised if it has slightly different rules. This very much looks like it's going to be a barrage weapon, probably something along the lines of either the Castellan or Vengeance rockets, and interestingly it seems to have two sets of twin flamers on every side of the thing. I'm not sure whether they are actual flamers or whether they might be heavy flamers, but either way that's really quite a lot of firepower to be jutting out on all sides. As this thing is called a drop turret and it's got very similar appearance to the drop pod, I strongly suspect it's going to be deep striked onto the board. And in terms of a gun turret support thing that drops on, it sounds like it's not going to be all that different from the Tyranid Spore Cyst. Seeing as most deep strikers have to come on 9 inches away from their enemies, then that will kind of make the range on these flamer weapons really quite important. If they are only 8-inch range like most flamers, then it means that it's not going to be torching anything straight out of deep strike, and they'll be used as much more for a static defense purpose rather than actually being able to threaten the enemy as an offensive unit. I also kind of wonder how the targeting is going to work with these things. If it really is packing 8 flamers, then it's just going to be absolute death incarnate to any light infantry that walk within its threat range. And it would seem a little bit strange if it could target one infantry squad with all of those flamers, particularly seeing as they're all on different facings. Maybe it might have some sort of special rule meaning that you can't target one enemy unit with any more than 2 flamers or something like that. That would seem fairly sensible to me. If they are 8-inch range flamers, then it seems like it could be a really good take with a chapter with a long-range marksman specialist trait to give it an extra 3 inches of flamer range, allowing you to burn the enemy away once you come in. Just from the look of the thing, I'd be amazed if it wasn't a fortification. I suppose we could technically think it could be a heavy support or something, but I really think it does bear a lot of analogues with the Tyranid Spore Assist, and that one does have the fortification battlefield role. We really have seen a bit of a trend of Games Workshop promoting a lot of fortifications with their new armies. We've seen the Eldar Webway Gate, the Chaos Noctilith Crown, the Feculent Narmor for the Demons, and the Battle Sanctum from the Sisters of Battle, among others. And to be honest, it's kind of surprising that they hadn't released one for Space Marines already, seeing as they do tend to get quite a lot of releases. I'm not sure this bodes amazingly well for it rules-wise if it is a fortification though. A lot of these things aren't particularly amazing, and it would mean that you'd have to take up an entire extra detachment, likely at the cost of command points in 9th edition. Being able to access them just really was a bit of an issue in 8th, and I'm not sure that's going to go away in 9th if you do have to pay command points to include these. A lot of the rules for the fortifications have been absolutely useless as well out of the ones that Games Workshop has released, particularly things like the Orc Mech Workshop, which to be honest was pretty much a dead weight. This one does seem to be bristling with guns though, so at least you can have some hope that it's going to make some sort of impact on the enemy, more than sitting there and looking vaguely menacing. As a building fortification type thing though, I suspect it will have some issues with immobility. Things like drop pods in 8th edition at least can be a bit of a liability at the moment, as they potentially give your opponent the opportunity to tie them up in close combat, meaning that they'll be in close combat so they can't be shot by the rest of your guns. Again, if we're looking at the Spore Assist for examples, then that can fire when it's in close combat, and I would be surprised if that missile launcher will be shot down by being in close combat. but I guess you never know. In any case, those flamers could at least theoretically pack a decent punch in Overwatch if you use the strat on it. So really looking forward to seeing the full rules for this thing, including its all-important points cost. I wouldn't be surprised if it has some other interesting abilities about it. Most Primaris units do tend to have like a little extra flavour special rule of some sort that just makes them act a little bit differently to how you'd expect on the table. Maybe it might have some sort of impact ability when it lands next to the enemy, or something similar to that. So let me know what you think of the thing down in the comments below. Do you like its looks, or does it look a little bit too StarCraft for you? I feel like it fits in fairly well with the Space Marine range. It does draw a lot of design elements from it. If you've enjoyed the video and want to keep up with more 9th edition news and developments, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics. And if you have been enjoying the channel, I'd just like to mention the Auspex Tactics Patreon page, which is how I continue to make so many videos quite so regularly. If you have been watching a lot and would like to support, then the link is down in the video description below. Channel Patreons get to see certain videos early, they get to vote in regular polls for what sort of videos come next on the channel, and there's regular prize draws as well, such as next month where I'm giving away 3 copies of the Indomitors box. The Patreon page is one way to enter that. If any of that sounds good, or you'd just like to help support the channel, then the link is down in the video description below. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.